everybody. Welcome to For Dummies, and I am your host, Mrs. Skullface, this evening, and I have with me Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
And Mr. Tfcon.
I'm still not getting that back.
And Mr. Skullface. Hello. Oh, whatever. I get to ask them some questions tonight, and I did this one other time, and it went pretty well, so it probably won't go so well tonight. This is like kind of a multi-tiered question because that's how I think. But if you could buy a third-party company, which one would you buy versus creating your own? And either way, what would be your first three pieces that you would put out?
I would buy X-Transbots.
Okay. And what would be your first three pieces?
This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be.
Don't set me up. I'm taking the question seriously. Now it's gonna suck.
Okay, so why would you buy X-Transbot? Why would that be the go-to?
Because he has the ability to beat Fans Toys, I believe.
I do too.
But he does just enough to sell just as well as Fans Toys and not give a shit because he has his own factory. He controls everything. He makes more money because people come to him to make stuff, you know? So it's a good business. That guy's in. He never got shut down. He never had to hide. So he's got some connections with that company. So the figures I would make, hey, right now, I'd start out with a new wheelie, right? It would be my wheelie 2.0.
And it'd be like 5.0 at this point.
It would be, the wheelie 3.0, I guess. And I would come out swinging with a Prime. I would do another Prime.
Oh my God.
I would make a lot of money doing that.
I would make a lot.
And then I would do a new Megatron too. I would have Megatron Prime and a wheelie, and they would just get rid of.
Great, and there's a whole year of nothing that everyone's gonna buy.
Everyone's gonna buy it. They'll buy both.
Your first year's run is just bullshit.
I would charge $150. I would charge $100 because Keith can. I would charge $150 for the Prime and the Megatron, and people would be like, "In your face, Takara."
So I think buying existing is the way to go, just because you get the name. It would be Make Toys, because I think that they had it together in the beginning and decided to compete with everybody versus just keep doing their own thing, which is what their downfall was. And I would go back to making the Headmasters. Like, they were on track to doing some good stuff. They changed directory, and I don't think that they should have. And they had the name, they had the quality, their price point was good.
I'm going to change my answer to Moss Toys.
Shut up, you.
And I would do just more. I would just release more bees, and I would ask Bobby to just do the artwork on each one.
All right.
I would buy Fans Toys, and I would release Blitzwing, Trailbreaker, and Hoy. Honestly, I would prefer to start my own, and I would try to pick the lane less traveled. I would try to find that, like,
missing pieces.
Yeah, I might even call the company Missing Pieces, and like,
Fangry,
and just put out the that nobody has access to, your Sandstorms and your Broadsides and your Technobots and your Terrorcons and all that kind of stuff. If I had to buy a third party company, and I had access to like their designers and their engineers and all that, I would get New Age and I would change it to MP.
Oh.
How has COVID affected your collecting and or friendships with community members? And we're going to start with you, Bobby.
And when you say COVID, you mean Bud Ice? I mean, it hasn't really affected it a whole lot other than the impacts that it's had on the factories and shipping, where everything has been delayed. On top of that, it hasn't as much affected my collecting as much as it has affected my experience of the community, because what you've lost is all the conventions, in both domestically and overseas, where they show stuff and people have the opportunity to get excited about stuff because you can't bring people together. And that's what I think COVID has affected most from my standpoint. On the other hand, I can say that it has given me the opportunity to invest more time outside of toys into the curation of what I have already. So gift and a curse, I suppose. So
since COVID, my collection's actually doubled. I had 0 figures and then got sent 2 legends. So I'm coming up.
It's the perfect excuse for him not to go anywhere.
I fell off prior to COVID, and I stopped kind of reaching out to people. So I talk to the same people regardless of COVID. The people that I don't talk to anymore from collecting is either because I stopped calling them or stopped reaching out, and they did the same, and then that was that. So COVID hasn't affected anything.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I would spread people's immunity to Bud Ice, so whenever I handed out free toys, I would blow my nose into the box and then seal it up real quick. No, I think on par, Bobby said conventions were something you look forward to, right? But what was going on? I think it was a 4-year period where, like, what was the first, not Toronto, but the first Chicago, Tfcon, and then the second one, it started gaining steam. You know, initially you would just get slammed with reveals online. And the only time things really slowed down was around Chinese New Year and everybody was in withdrawal. But we started seeing less and less reveals. Conventions were the thing, so we were almost at the mercy of the conventions to see what the new surprise was. And then you'd be disappointed because they would show you mostly things that you knew were coming out 2 years ago.
Right.
But even the number of companies that would appear at a panel started dwindling.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, I think that contributed to a lot of collectors kind of falling out of love with the whole thing because the momentum was decreasing. You know, you had all the competition, and then, if you reveal a cliff jumper, I'm going to reveal a cliff jumper, and then we're racing to production, and then we're fighting with each other. So I'm not going to reveal my cliff jumper, and you're not going to reveal your cliff jumper, and then who's going to show what at TFCon? Nobody's showing anything at TFCon, and we were all looking forward to it because nobody's getting any reveals. That's like a big part of the excitement in collecting. It's the reveals, and I can't wait for this. And as soon as you get it, what's next? You know, so that's gone. So, and then what COVID hit, the conventions disappeared, and what do you see now? Companies like, fine, it here. We're doing this. And it's nice to see again. So I would argue, but the downside is production fell off due to Bud Ice, and there was a real lag for a year where we weren't getting the production we were accustomed to. But then at least the reveals started picking up again. So,
do you plan to attend TFCon in Baltimore? Simple yes or no, not like thinking about COVID, Robert.
No, I'm not going.
All right, Jisk.
No.
All right, Bobby.
No, I don't even know.
Yes, I'll have a table there.
We'll be
Feel
there.
free to come by. I'd love to see Robert and Jisk, but apparently that's not going to happen. It's fine.
Honestly, I might go, but I don't want to say I'm going. I'd rather say I'm not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your first date with your wife and when you broke the nerddom to them.
I think, we were in high school at the time, so I don't know where we went. Probably to some party somewhere. Or the park. And I was always kind of just into just robots like that. I never really had a collection. That didn't start until 2016. So she was already. Where is she gonna go?
Yeah, you shielded it from her for a long time, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I always had some type of comics or something like that. Like I was never crazy into collecting anything, but.
If I were to classify what our first date was, it was probably to go see Time to Kill at the movie theater.
Do you want to comment on when you feel like you shared the nerddom?
I know the answer to that question.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bobby was in his basement playing 40K.
That's true.
And you came
Yeah, it was a false advertising
like
a little bit, though.
Why was it false advertising?
Because, I saw that, one little glimpse of you and Charles doing that. And then I feel like I never saw it again until the townhouse. And then the townhouse is when it struck.
Well, what's funny is that, I know that the perception that you probably never considered anything remotely close to that affiliated with me at that time because you didn't affiliate me with that particular lifestyle because of other lifestyles I was wrapped up in at the time. When you showed up, you were probably like, who the is this guy?
Maria were just like, what?
You were both turned off. You didn't stay very long, neither one of you. You were, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's the end of that. That's probably poor timing for them to show up here. I was like, you couldn't have chosen a worse time. It was you couldn't hide it. It was all over the floor. Like when she came in, it was just like, oh, it was almost like you had to say
door,
you would have to laugh and say it's not what it looks like. It was figures, little model figures all over the floor. And the thing is I'm playing it with this guy Brutus, and this guy Brutus is a real tough guy, and it's just I knew it gave off the wrong impression. They stayed for 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, that's the end of that, Brutus.
Did you keep playing? You kept playing in front of her?
No, it was just
Were you playing or were you painting?
No, we were playing.
Oh, I don't even remember. I just mentally blocked that.
Yeah, and you were both of you were like, what is this? And look, it's a game. I was like, oh, little guys on the, it was the most, it was like you couldn't have chosen a worse time to stop by my house.
And I'm painting your pants blue.
Oh, I was just curious what you thought, though, at that time.
No, I mean, I definitely think I remember thinking it was a little bit weird. But like I said, I feel like that was like, I saw that and then I never saw it again until we moved in together, which was like...
Oh, what was it that brought you back? All right, so you see that and you're like, okay, we're going to go, you know what I mean? And then like,
because that was like a very small, it was a very small percentage of what I saw. That was not what I normally saw. And I didn't ever see it again. Like I said, I don't think I ever saw it again until we went to like the first Baltimore Comic-Con and he wanted to buy these statues and stuff. I was like, hey, you know what? You know what?
It was I remember first year in law school, and I had known Lisa for many years. Like I met her in high school, and it was Halloween, and I was driving up to see her. And I had the revelation because I had liked her the entire time. You know, I never knew how she felt about me. Driving up there, I'm like, oh, she's single. I'm single. We're both single at the same time. I'm going to tell her how I feel. I never wanted to tell her before because it can make the friendship just go away. But that was it. You know, that's what I consider our first date, was when I first told her how I felt about her, and we kissed. So it was a wonderful memory. When me and Lisa started dating, I wasn't into collecting. That was a childhood thing. And then we were together. Fast forward, we've been together for years at this point, and then it was Transformers Prime had come out, and I started collecting again, but slowly. Like, just the idea of spending money on something like this was so frivolous to me. I was like, okay, I'll get a little Legion class figure and get this, and then we had like an IKEA thing.
Slope.
You know those IKEA, the IKEA, like, is it the calyx? Not the calyx. The thing that looks like a honeycomb. I just slowly started filling, cubby after cubby after cubby with figures. And like, I remember it became a thing when like her friend came over once, and her friend was like, that's a lot of Transformers.
So at what point was that though?
Years after we had already been dating. This is just like, what, 7 years ago? No.
Wow. So around the time that it all started popping off heavy for all of us.
Maybe around whenever Transformers Prime first came.
I do remember, let me tell this story now. I remember one Christmas we decided, this is before we had kids or anything, we just decided we were going to buy our own gifts for ourselves, but not like the surprise was going to be for the other person when you opened up your gift. Like, you bought it for yourself, you wrapped it, but the other person didn't know. So and I remember I bought myself like a G1 Prime, and I remember Sarah looking at me like, are you kidding me? This is what you buy yourself? Which made me laugh.
So no explanations, but your top 3 childhood shows, not movies, just shows. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, that'd be Transformers, Thundercats, and He-Man.
All right, and Jisk?
Mine are actually not cartoons. It's Chips.
As a child?
Three's Company. Yeah, as a kid. And A-Team.
Wow.
All
yeah.
Right. And
That's what I
Bobby?
liked as a kid.
Transformers, G.I. Joe, Adam West 66 Batman show that came on, like, because I loved
Yeah, that's good too.
Favorite Michael Bay movie? Go, Bobby.
13 Hours.
Jisk.
Bad Boys.
Robert.
Revenge of the Fallen.
Christmas gifts. It's a gross hot tubs.
Coca-Cola.
2 closet nerds hunched over 40K looking over their shoulders all night.
Yes.
I'm telling you, 40K is without a doubt the nerdiest nerd I've ever been.